All right, everybody, we are back working on the HTML All the Things website. Last week we kind of dove in here. We didn't get a ridiculous amount of progress in, but that is because we started experimenting with a little bit of CSS Grid. Now, I've never actually used CSS Grid before. I'm sort of always been using Flexbox or just the box model or whatever they call it. So display block, if you will. So bit of a new experience for me, definitely, and a bit of a weird one, of course. So we built this section here, this from the news section, in CSS Grid, if memory serves. Let's actually just check on that. Let's see. Yeah, so definitely, see, this is a grid child, apparently. Oh, yeah, here we go. Display, or div block 2 is display grid. Now, I don't know if I'm going to stick with this. Like I said, I have no experience with it, and I kind of want to just get the show on the road here. We spun these other pieces up pretty quick. Obviously, you know, typography and stuff like that is not complete yet by any stretch of the imagination. However, I kind of like the idea of grid. So, I mean, I don't know if anyone in the audience here actually, you know, uses grid currently or anything like that, but you can like label these little areas. So, like, I mean, this one's literally just called area. Super inventive, I know. But basically, I'm gonna like play with this section to try to get it to be the same as up here. So if I remember correctly, we built sort of like a readable container. And what that does is like, obviously this is sort of a representative of a little bit smaller than a 1080p screen. So as you can see, like my full screen is 1080p. And this is like obviously like the designer little window. So it's a bit smaller. So get that show on the road. I support the grid. You support the grid decision, Mike. You support the grid decision. It wasn't really a decision. It was Cybersect, actually. Hello, Cybersect, in the chat there. That recommended it. I may use it. I may not. I don't know literally anything about it. So it's literally like you might see me going back to the W3 school days, effectively, of me going in and being like, ooh, what's this like? What's this thing? What's that mean? How do you align stuff? That type of thing. Although I say like the elementary school days type of thing, but yet at W3 schools, I still use it for sort of a playground. I've used it so much in the past that like I have some examples memorized, and when I can't remember how to set up a property properly, then I go back to W3 schools and use their sort of like code playground or whatever they call it. So we have some sort of, so we have a 50 width. Yeah, so these are 50s. We have, readable containers. The readable container maxes us out at 1500. Like I said, this is a 1080p screen, so this is smaller. So this is actually at 1624. But this would be, you know, sort of typical what a laptop or what a desktop would show. Like, you know, obviously if you get rid of this section and this little section on the side, that's basically all you're getting rid of. So let's see if we can do this. And yes, I did absolutely not plug in my new mouse. It's one of those weird things where like my mouse works and I turn my computer off at the end of the night, but like the scroll wheel's broken. So then I come back to the stream or come back to the computer just to do regular work, and then I just straight up don't plug in the new mouse because it's just something I don't think of. Then I go to scroll once and I'm like, damn. But I'm so used to just using these scroll bars now that I can't do it. Now, actually, small aside, I know this is, you know, quite a few tangents now, but small aside, the amount of websites that I've been struggling to use without a scroll wheel is a little bit. You took apart your mouse into a million pieces because I'm replacing the click switches. See, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm just going to get a new mouse. This mouse is literally so old that there's a metal plate on the top, okay? It's supposed to have little holes in it. I don't know whether it's just for design. Well, it is partially for design because there's LED behind it, but I think it's also to let your hand not sweat as much. And it does work, although my hands don't really sweat. But I've used it so much, like this is metal. I've used it so much that this plate is now white, like the white sort of metallic, it's like, I think it's like primer, I guess they use on metal before they paint it. Because it used to be like black paint, and it's literally almost all gone. So this mouse has literally been used to the point where the plastic itself is starting to fail, because there's also plastic around it. So mine is still new, and it has great latency for wireless mouse. Oh, so it's that one you got before. Okay, so that makes sense. But yeah, for me, yeah, I'm getting rid of this mouse. I have like literally the replacement. I have the new version of the exact same mouse. I just need to literally. It's literally in a box beside me, so it's across, like directly across from me in the other room. I have it. It's ready to go. I just haven't done it because I bought that other mouse years ago. This scroll wheel broke. then it just started working again, and it worked for like 2 years. So I just never installed the other mouse. So whatever. I'm a proponent of sort of using a lot of things until they literally can't be used anymore, with the exception of phones and a few other electronics or stuff I just get annoyed by. So anyway, okay, so I called this the small 4 because we have like a small 4 design, obviously small 4 with a thing here. Now, this is going to be, okay, so this is flex. Okay, so what is grid? This whole thing is grid. Right, I see. So, okay, can we put this grid in the readable container? Is that literally just... Okay, that kind of fixed it. Okay. Now, from the new section. Oh, I see. So it's literally... Okay, that might just be that easy. Okay, let's see responsivity. I have a feeling this is not going to be this easy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. As you can see... It's also like... Oh, this is spaced out a little weird. Like... I know it's 25. Well, I guess, you know what? Let's actually work on that. So let's take a peek at our design here. So it's in here somewhere. That's fun. Awesome. I think it's the prototypes homepage. I really want to get these prototypes or this homepage done. Okay, let's zoom in. See, look, I have to use all these scroll things. I'm wondering, and this is like a weird thing. Am I learning more accessibility things? Like, are we going to be able to make websites more accessible because I'm limiting the use of my scroll wheel? Like, I don't know if a scroll wheel is something that some people can't use, but like, I don't know. It just feels like all websites should work without a scroll wheel, and they just don't. Like, they should be optimized for a scroll wheel because most people have them. But what if you just don't? You know, because a touchpad effectively does with like the 2-finger, gestures or whatever. Okay, yeah. So these are a bit more filled out. So we're gonna do that. So let's go back to, there we go. And oh, I see here. So this is certainly wrong. Okay, this is our div block. This is our, right, so this is going to be our small 4 meta wrapper. This is our metadata, and we're going to flex this. We're going to make it space right out. And we're going to make the small 4 meta wrapper 100% width. And we're going to make the small 4 item. This is with 50%. We're going to make it relative. This thing should... Oh, wait. Oh, there's a text wrapper. Whoopsie, did not see that. Okay, so let's make that 100% width. It's not a mistake. There we go. I don't even think we really need this now. No, we don't. Okay, good. So, okay, here's our thing there. This is our text wrapper, and immediately goes into here. So I'm going to take this, make it flex, make it vertical, and make it stretch these. Yeah, there we go. Because we're going to have probably longer headings. And the text wrapper is going to have some padding. So I'm just going to put like a, just a regular like test value, probably 10. 10, 10. Let's just put, do we want 10 on the top? See, this is the problem with headings is they already have sort of a thing at the top. And like, I really don't like that sometimes. Yeah, let's get rid of that because I want the box to control it in this case. Does it have something on the... No. It does have something on the bottom, although I do want that in this particular case. So let's... okay, let's add a little bit of padding to the top here then. And I kind of like that. I know it's not balanced at the bottom, but we'll see. Let's make this bigger. Like H2 is fine. But let's make it maybe like... Let's take a look at the other sizes on the page. So these are obviously very big. These are 38 pixel. I'm still a person that likes using pixels. I know people like to use, EM or various other dynamic units, VH and stuff like that for other things. I like using pixels when I have an editor as precise as Webflow myself, because I do get to see it, previewed, and I'm just a person that likes to use them. I will use like EM and stuff like that here and there for... obviously efficiency and just making things easy, especially if I need it to be 100% of the height. Just I'll use like a VH, 100 VH. But stuff like this, I like getting into the nitty gritty. And since I can just literally, like quite literally see it, I mean, obviously it doesn't work right now, but since I could see the rest of this at all sizes so instantly, I like using pixels still. So let's let's take a look. So we already did our padding. Let's make this bigger, like I said. So I don't know. Let's just try 28. See. 28 might be a little too big, like 25 maybe. 25 is probably better. I'm going to, this is blog post 5. Right, it's already pulling in the dynamic data. So we finished that. Okay, so now we got to see why this isn't collapsing. And I have a, I have a feeling this is because of grid. And I don't know how to fix it. Okay. Let's see here. Edit grid. Do we want to do that? I don't know. Does it collapse? I also don't know. Align, distribute. What's this do? Right. But then once it hits a certain point, the question is, this is called area. This is 0.5 FR. This is 1 FR. But my question is why is this not like collapsing the width? Now, actually, I want to test something. I'm going to take this div block and I'm going to take it out of the readable container. And I want to see if it collapses normally. So is it the grid? No, so the grid does collapse. So it's something to do with this wrapper. Okay. So the grid is collapsing. It needs a little bit of padding, but the readable container should handle that for us. Okay, so we know it's something to do with this. So the overflow is auto. The width is 1500. That doesn't seem right? Because why would that be? Let's see. I honestly have a feeling we're going to make these collapsible too. I don't know if this is going to work out. This like weird scrollable thing. I'm like freakishly obsessed with gestures on phones because I used to use BB10 so much, and so I thought people would be like coming onto our website and using gestures, but then, you know, immediately upon doing that, I was like, people aren't going to know what gestures are on the HTML of the things site. Like, what's going on here? But we'll see. Maybe I'll do a cool like promo video with the gestures, and then I'll just I'll immediately get rid of it. Okay. Let's see. This is 100% width. We want that. Okay, why is this? This is so strange. So this is saying it's 1500. Let's see here. This is a readable container, right? 1500. The overflow is auto. But like, why is this collapse and the rest of it doesn't? Is it because it's... Because like 1500 width... See, it's actually collapsing. But then with a grid item in the middle, it doesn't do that. And I don't really understand that. If I make like a max width 100 pixel or 100%. No, not 10. There we go. There we go. To be honest, I'm not really sure how that was working before. I guess it must be a Flexbox thing. I thought I put that in there before the 100%. Because I was going to say, like, how is it... Why is it collapsing on the one but not the other? Unless I wasn't quite at 1500? No, I definitely was. That's strange. Well, whatever. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so this is working now. Well, to an extent. Doesn't look amazing. We need some damn padding. Holy crap. Well, padding at, like, smaller sizes, though, right? Maybe more, like, margin around it. I don't think we're going to bother with that. I want to see what this looks like. I bother with it right now. See how this is starting to get too, like, small? Like, I'd love to... Like, I want to see... I think it's in here somewhere. Let's go back to our designs. I think it's in our wireframes. Yeah, here we go. Homepage. Whoop. And yeah, so it stacks on tablet. So let's see. Okay, how do we do that on grid? That's an excellent question. Okay, so let's take a look. Grid. So we have this. Is there like a wrap? Well, there is a children... Wait, no, that doesn't matter for us because that's just the item. Here's the whole list. This is flex. So wait, we would change this to vertical. Right. And then change it to center. And we're at this breakpoint. But see, now that looks weird. So would we give more real estate to... Like, normally with Flexbox, I'd be able to just, like, quickly do this. Like, obviously, this is Flexbox, but I'm just, like, wondering, like, in terms of the grid, so if we go into here, do I change this now so I give, like, that and so it has more space. Maybe. And then we could give this, like, give these more space, obviously. So then we can take these items, and they're 50% width, and we can make them at this breakpoint 100% width, or maybe like 75% width. That probably looks better. And like the titles will be longer, so it will fill in more, obviously. Because it'll fill in with like full titles of stuff. And we should work on like truncation and stuff like that eventually as well. So, okay, so we have a bit of responsivity here. So let's just see how this works. So, again, let's take a look. So this is still 0.5, and this is 1. Perfect. Okay, we're done with that. And we go to this breakpoint, and it turns into 0. What am I doing here? 0.75. And this, which is nice. Okay, that's good. We might adjust according to what ad, whatever we have, but I don't know whether we want to just, do we want to keep a square ad, or do we want to, see, this is keeping a square. I wonder if Webflow, and I feel like it can't, at certain breakpoints, can do more limits. I've never really tried. No, we definitely can't, eh? Because this is like the small 4, and then, page and 8, we don't want to do that. I think 4 is fine for now. Let's go to like even smaller. See, like we're going to start getting some problems in terms of responsivity, and like this ad is a weird size as well. Let's take a look. I think at this size we could probably do 100% width. Let's see the list here. 10. There's a list wrapper. What's giving it this space in between? Is there a margin or something? Or is this a part of grid, or like what is making this space in between the two? It's a good question. I feel as though this ad thing doesn't make a difference for the moment, because this ad thing doesn't make a difference for the moment because obviously the ads will be dynamic, and this is just like reserving a spot for it. Let's take a look at what is causing this. 100% width. Right. Here's the collection wrapper. Placeholder ad. We know that. Here's the collection list wrapper. There's the section heading. Right. Why is there... Do I have space between my things? Is that a thing? Oh, see, like it encroaches on... Right. Right. Here we go. I was going to say, isn't there like a gap or something? Okay. So we're going to lower this gap to like, I don't know, 10. Sure. Let's lower it a little more because it's a placeholder. 5. 5 should be good. Again, this is going to be a dynamic ad eventually. So that looks good. We're going to grab this item here. We're going to add a little bit of padding. Like, I don't know. Do 5. Maybe 10. Probably 10. That looks fine. Like in terms of like nothing crashing into each other. See, like stuff starts to kind of crash into each other, which ain't great. Maybe we should do... This is just too like long and skinny, I think. Let's see if we can't add... Maybe we should play with another row. But then we're going to be, I don't know if I want to like do like a deep dive on that or just like keep pushing on. It's a good question. The direction is row. Well, let's see what just happens. Let's just see what happens. This is auto. What the hell? What is this? What if I do this? What in the heck did I just do? Okay, what is this area? Okay, get this out of here. Like I just complimented it. I don't want it here now. Get it out of here. Get this area out of here. What if I press delete? What happens? It deleted the whole thing. Okay, good. Can Can we delete this area? Oh, yes. Goodbye. Okay. See, look. Okay. Okay. So you can adjust this. Oh, see, I like this. Like, this is cool that it's visual in this way. Okay, so let's take a look at what's making this thing. This is a placeholder add. But why is it two... Oh, it's 2 row span. Now, here's a question. If I make it 1 row span, is that based on breakpoint? It is based on breakpoint. Now, that's interesting, because this looks fine. That's the smallest tablet size. That looks like sort of like a movie poster ad or something, right? And then obviously it gets bigger, but there'll be some padding and stuff like that. That's totally fine. This is totally acceptable for tablet, big enough space for your fingers. Come back down to here. It's starting to get a little crowded, but this looks a little weird. This looks a little weird. But I'm thinking, what if we do this? So go to here. How did I do this? Did I leave this and click this? Yes, I did. Okay. So position is auto, manual. Can I Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't even know what happened. Oh, because now everything is out of order. I see. Okay, 1 second. What is this? Placeholder add. This grid item will be auto-placed in the grid. To place it manually, hold shift as you drag. To nest it into another grid, hold control as you drag. We're going to try to see what happens. Hold shift. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. UX analysis. We got our from the news heading. This tiny little link. We got our nice, with a gesture, with one single gesture, you can quickly get over to the blog post. And then right underneath it, you can go and you can see the ad. And then there's a nice, totally needed space. No, we're not going to do that. Okay, we're going to fix this. We are going to auto. No, is that right? Yes. Column span, row span. See, this is interesting because, okay, I want this to row start end to, see if I do 2, 2. See, oh, I see what it's doing. So it's like filling it in, and even if I when I clicked and dragged, it effectively did that thing that I just changed. I see. Okay. So the question is how do we get this to be responsive within Webflow and all the rest of it? Okay. So we have this thing. We want this to be auto, clearly. We want it to span 1 row. But this is the grid. I guess we could just make another one and make this one visibility hidden. Because effectively that's what we'll be doing. Although, do we even really want that? Do we want this to now span 2? So there's a question. So, okay, well actually let's see what happens. Let's try something. Okay. Getting into the weeds here on the old grid machine. Manual. Okay. See this guy? Okay. See how it doesn't work? Okay, yeah, what's going on here? Why can't... Can I grid this? Yeah, here we go. Column span, row span. 2. It should push that. Wait, what? Oh, no! That's wrong. Sorry. I'm sorry! This is absolutely not doing what I thought it would do. I'm glad I don't have a face cam at the moment because the amount of bewildered faces I'd be making is, not... I'm absolutely a web development professional. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's not going well. It's not going well here. Wait, am I undoing too much now? I don't know. Okay. Does this still look good here? Just see how much we broke. I don't get it. So when I pushed it here, it put that one there, which made sense to me because it was filling it in. But then now it's okay. Again, I literally have 0 experience with this, so. Dense. Attempts to fit grid children into empty cells of your grid. This can be bad for accessibility as it only alters where items display, not where they appear in the page's source. Okay, oh, well, we're not going to do that then. See, I want this at this breakpoint to be double, like, wide. Know what I mean? What does this do? If I click this, oh damn it! I added an area. Damn. Get rid of that. This area to be bigger, not like that though. I want this to span both columns. And then I want this to not get pushed back, but it will because it's the next item in the list. What if I just make this like 0, 0? Can't do that. Okay. Yeah, this is going great. Yeah. See, what I was thinking is, like, I could just make this one, like, we'll just add a combo class to this. So I'll just call this, like, well, we would leave this combo class, probably. I'd grab this, put this here, and then I'd post another one. Yeah, see, there we go. See, it goes into the grid. But then I would take this, call this one mobile. Right? And then I would, at this breakpoint, right, make this display none. Of which would break this, but then I would take this. This is my thought process. And we do a 2-column span, which should realistically fix it, but then now that one's gone for some reason. So let's take a peek at why that is. Placeholder add. Why is this one broken now? But I gave it another combo class. Or wait, did I give it the same combo class? No, I didn't. What the hell is going on here? What was this thing? Grid or no? Wait, yeah, what was this thing? It was flex. Okay. So at this breakpoint, hide yourself. You come back. Yes. Okay. Okay. So now here at this breakpoint, let's see if it actually broke this. Yes, it did. Yeah, right. Okay, that makes sense though because this mobile at this breakpoint needs to hide itself. Right, and then that should go back to normal. Click here. Okay, we're starting to get it. Now we're getting spans. Okay, here we go. Okay. So this can go down to here. That's a little bit cramped. It's not too bad. And there's quite a bit of space. Let's take a look at this grid again. No. There we go. It's not the grid space. Okay. So let's get out of here then. Let's take a look at this. Probably too much like padding and such. I would estimate. And not much there. Not really any there. Okay. Well, I don't know. Let's just try to give it like a 0. Right. I think it's just these are just a bit too big. So let's at this breakpoint, let's change something. So let's undo what we just did. Click on this. Go into the meta. And let's make it vertical. Right. And so now it's a little bit more like easily viewable. But I actually kind of want to shrink the text as well. So let's give it like an 11. Maybe not. Like maybe keep it at 14. I want to see something. Keep it at 14. But I want this meta wrapper. I want this. I know this doesn't have a class yet, but we're just going to see if this looks okay. I want to put like a 5 on there. And like, what is this giving it? Like a 10. So maybe 5's too much. Maybe like a 3. Because I think what we might do is we might style the author to be different. Like we might change it to like italic or something. Okay, we're going to just get rid of this. Okay. Okay, so this is all working. This is all still no. Right, I see. Okay, let me click here. Let me just I don't like having a redundant breakpoint information, so let's do a breakpoint here, and it should be broken here, and then come back here. Right, there we go. Instead of having two pieces of information, two breakpoint pieces of information. Okay, so let's jump right in. To the small, this is obviously not going to work out for us. Way too small. Let's see what we can do. So, this, I didn't realize that. What is that? Oh, it's spanning both the columns. I was going to say, did it like automatically grab? Like, that would be weird. So why isn't this... Yeah, there we go. How small? I always do down to iPhone 5. So this is 5S and iPhone SE. Like, this is just, like, that's NES. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. So we're going to do iPhone SE. This is the smallest that I'm going to make things compatible for, so they're not being cut off and whatnot. So let's see what happens here. So let's... God, the clicking. Okay. We want these, or this, like this bunch, to span across, and we want an ad to go, like, beneath it. I don't know if this is going to work out. We will see. We're learning a little bit of grid here, which is nice. See, I made that 1.2 FR. Is that responsive? Like, that's on a breakpoint, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, well, I mean, that works. Like, okay, I'm going to take this, and I always forget that it's not in the grid editor itself. It's the item. It's like the child or whatever. So we'll grab, I think it's this. Yeah, here we go. And the column span that we want is 2. And so that thing goes across. And the column span of this is going to be 2. And then its height is 100%. But at this particular breakpoint, because obviously there's nothing to kind of judge with it, I'm going to change the height to, like, just give it like a 250 pix, because again, it is just a placeholder. Whoa! Oh, that's the width. Whoopsie. 250 pix, like, height? Just to give it, like, obviously a placeholder feel, right? Because it'll be like a square ad down there. Okay. Now, I'd prefer this to be centered myself at this size, so we're going to go and find, I think it's this. These are probably flex. Yes. And we want these to be like this. No. What? What's going on here? Wait, oh, these are 100% width, right. I mean, we can just, there's this 100% width. We can make this auto and see what it does. Right, there we go. And then make this that. And right, I prefer just that look on mobile myself. Like on a smaller mobile, I like things to be more centered, because you're probably like scrolling with your thumb here. So that's good. Okay. So that is that, I suppose. Again, this is all like laying it out rough. We're just going to quickly go through this, and then we'll come back and do the typography and all the rest of it, just for anyone who that's popped into the stream here. I don't want you to think that this is like the Picasso that I'm providing for someone for like $10 million. Okay. So I'm going to take a sip of water here. Let's move on to the framework section and get that working. Now, the framework section was meant to be just for that. Frameworks, libraries, those type of things. I don't know if that's what we're going to end up doing there. It might just end up being more stories. But basically we need like big square sections. So we have our 50s, our small 4s, and then we're going to have our big square. I think that's what we're going to call it, big square probably. Or maybe just big box or something. So yeah, so like they're big squares throughout. Pretty simple. We do need another CMS collection for it, so let's just jump right in. So we're going to jump into our CMS here. We got our community spotlights. That's up top there. We have our tags, our categories, our blog posts, which are showing up here as well as in the featured, I believe. And then we're going to make our frameworks now. So we're going to make a collection called frameworks. And we're going to make the link frameworks. I think I'm going to make it frameworks and like libraries. Hopefully I spelled that right. Hopefully that's spelled right. I can always change that later. It's not like it's going live. Okay. So I'm just going to call it frameworks, but I feel like it's going to be frameworks and libraries, if anything. I don't know. We'll see. So we're just going to create, and we're going to add 5 dummy items. And it just adds a bunch of like gibberish, right? Okay. We're actually going to... I'm going to actually remove these because I forgot to add an image. So we're just going to delete these. Yeah, delete them. They're literally dummy items. Go in here. Grab a thumbnail or an image. And it is going to be required. And this is going to be a post thumbnail. So whatever we'd normally put the, what's required. It's probably going to be 1-to-1. It's probably recommended. I'll put something more helpful later. Save. Add 5 dummy. I don't know if it'll add images. I can't remember. It will. Perfect. It just adds random images. That's perfect. What else does it need? It needs a category, which we're going to put on ourselves. It needs a category, an author, and a date. Okay. So, okay, let's do it. So, framework. We're going to add new field. It's going to be, the date is going to be automatically generated. It needs an author, which is a reference field. And so the reference is going to be, the thing it's going to be referencing, the other collection it's going to be referencing is going to be, this is going to be our category, right? Or did I say author? I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh no, our author, we didn't actually do that, right? Because we weren't sure we were going to add an author page. Yeah, we'll just do, we'll just make this the category for now then. Category. And what we'll do is we'll make the, make this required. We'll make the authors maybe separate pages in the future, and then we'll do like another reference field. We're allowed to have 5 reference fields at our plans limit. I believe you can have more reference fields on other plans limits. Okay. Let's see here. So we have our category. We just want plain text, real simple for the author. I think we did like a really like random character limit, so I don't know, 55 characters, sure, whatever. Required field. We're going to save the collection. We're going to go into here, and we're going to start adding stuff. So the category is going to be, I don't know, I mean, that's ridiculous that it's a blog. Well, I guess you could do a blog about a thing, but again, and I'm just going to make me the author. Save that. Go into here, same thing. We're just going to make me the author of all these to make it easy. Podcast, sure. I know that wouldn't be the thing, but podcast, sure. Great. Okay. I don't know. Blog. Yeah. Okay. Like here. Excellent. Guide. Sure. Now we have no text for this yet. We'll add like obviously like rich text and stuff later. But let's get this homepage laid out and working. So this is just my temp spacer so I can scroll down, because otherwise it would only scroll to like here, and then it'd be like, oh, where's the framework section? And it just looks a little weird for presentation purposes. Okay, so let's go and add something. So I've added like separate sections per section, just because obviously they're going to be fine-tuned and they're only on the homepage. So inside of the frameworks section, as you will, you have a readable container, you have a section heading, and then I'm going to start adding the other stuff. Now I just want to see how I did this. So readable container, I had this div block. I probably should rename that div block, to be honest. I'm just going to call this rename this. I'm just going to call this the small 4 grid. That looks good. Now, for this, I'm just going to use Flexbox because it's easy enough. I'm just going to see it how I did it. So I have my readable container, but I just want to kind of keep things like relatively consistent throughout the site in case someone else comes and edits it. So collection list wrappers, like obviously whatever, self-explanatory, 50 width, right. So for the most part, most of the stuff will be in a collection list wrapper. And then in this case, it'll be big box. I'll probably just call them big or something. Okay, so let's do that. So let's jump right in. Let's go to readable container, jump in here, grab our collection list. Our collection is going to be our frameworks. Here's our frameworks populated. Inside of each item, we're going to crack this open here. So I'm just going to call this, probably just going to call these boxes. Instead of big box to make it shorter, box list. And then this is going to be a box. Right, fair enough. And again, we might rename some of this stuff as I just did earlier. So, okay. So the box list is going to be flex. It's gonna be like center, obviously. It's gonna be these things. These things are gonna be, excuse me, approximately a third, and then they're gonna wrap. So we're going to click back into our list and make sure that they can wrap, the children can wrap. We're going to make these like 33.333, maybe an extra 3 in there, so 4 decimal places %. And what? There we go. That was weird. And like, I don't know, give it like a 250 like height, I guess. Just for now, just so we can kind of get our bearings. So here's the actual box itself. Inside of the box, we're going to have a category area. So I'm just going to see how I did that on the other places just to keep it consistent. So who else had a category? Featured block category. So I'm just going to call this the box category. What's this? This is the featured block category and then the category text. Right. So the category text can be sort of inherited, but obviously the box category might be a little unique. So we'll grab that. So we'll just like, I don't know, throw this in here. We'll call this the box category. And then inside of the box category, we're going to add some text, probably just that, and call it, we're going to get the text from the category name. And we're going to call this category text. See, it's in their suggestions. Perfect. And then inside of here, because we might have a little bit of fine control, inside of our box category, we're going to go into here, grab the background color from the category background color, right? It's weird that category text doesn't change the color. Let's take a look at why I did it that way. Or maybe it was I did it in this. Yeah, I did it there. That's very strange. Unless that's just the default. And that's white there. Oh, see how it's not being set by this? It's being set by something else? It's being set from featured block. Right. Okay, so we want category text to be specifically white. So we're going to literally just reset it to white. Does it not allow me to... I know that if you like click... Yeah, there we go. So it goes blue, and that's going to specifically set it for the class. So now I think... Yeah, see, now it's going to specifically set it. That's how Webflow like shows the orange is inheritance. So if you click here, it's like, you know, this is inherited from body all pages, for example, this Arial font. Okay. So this guy, easy enough. He's going to have like 5 pixels. Oh yeah, they did fix this, didn't they? I forgot I had like terrible performance with this in the past, and like it's really fixed now, so I can use it, which is super nice. Okay. And it's just text, so I can just center it. And that's easy enough. Okay, so let's grab it's box category. We don't want that. We want the actual box. And the box's background image. Okay. So get the BG image is going to be the thumbnail. Okay, here we go. Again, totally off topic, but just random stock images from Webflow. And then we're going to set the background image properties, which is a little bit strange in Webflow when you pull it in dynamically. So you see I'm setting it here even though I'm not changing this, but this is how you still set it. So I'm going to set it to cover. I like centering the things like that. I like to say no tile, don't fix it, nothing like that. I just like to have sort of a general image in there. So now I'm wondering like whether I want it to be 33% wide or whether I want it to be just like a perfect square. And I think like even the design is like a little bit of a rectangle, like it is. So I think like just a dynamic, like just a big box looks okay. Let's maybe set it. I'm just thinking. I want to know like, like do I want it to be like, I don't know, 32%? What is it? Oh, I guess because it's not right. Okay, well, let's just set it to 250 then for now. Because I'm just toying with the idea. No, not percent. Come on now. Toying with the idea of like, okay, so I want to obviously have like some margin. So like we're going to add like 10 pixels of margin. See, like I think 33 just might be a little bit too big. Can add like, can do like, I don't know, let's just say 5. That's probably too big. But like 5% margin. Yeah, that's too big, but look, we'll adjust it down. It's like 2%, like, I don't know. 0.5%? 0.5% is probably okay. And like the other 10 is kind of unnecessary, so like we'll do 0.5% there as well. 0.5 is probably good. And same with this. Right? like that's probably good for now. 250 is too small. Do like a 350 pix height. That looks nice, I think. I do want these to still fit on one row, so it has to be like, I don't know. We'll do like, we're not gonna do like an exact, so like maybe like 32. Yeah, something like that. That looks good. Just something kind of natural flowing. Something like that. That looks good to me. I wanted to see what it looks like in like a full grid. So I'm just gonna add one more item. Just gonna duplicate one of these. And where's it? Duplicate. And yeah, sure, whatever. Just copy. That's fine. I don't care. Please. Okay, there we go. Perfect. There we go. So easy enough. Now, we're gonna go into here and we're gonna do our zoom in. And we don't have an overlay this time. That's kind of key. We have a separate thing. So maybe I should change how the thumbnail works, potentially. I think I might have to do that. I probably should have looked at that before, but that's fine. Just easy fix, easy enough fix. So the box is still totally fine. I might just make it so that the box is 350. It might be like, I might make the box like 450, but we'll see. Like this probably shouldn't have the background image. We should probably have another box that does, and I don't care if it gets cut off by this. Like it's literally just a thumbnail. So let's dump a block in here. Let's call this the box thumbnail. Like that. Even though it is already like effectively set to it, let's just make sure it's 100% width. And the height we're going to set to 350 pix for now, because we want to keep the same sort of style. And no, what the hell? What is going on here? Overflow, you can see it. Oh, I see what's happening here. Well, we're not going to show the overflow. Wait, what? Get out of here. Is this section or is this readable container? Oh, this readable container is doing it. I don't like that. It's because of this thing. So we should add a combo class, eh? Yeah, let's add a combo class because I think that's going to conflict with some stuff in the future. Let's go to the readable container. Let's add a combo class. Let's do like a scrollable like that. Whoops. Just missed the scrollable. Here you go. See how it's inheriting it? We're going to change that to make sure that it's not inheriting it like that. And then we're going to go back in the selectors, select the readable container, and we're going to make it so that it hides that. So then we're going to click back, and we're going to see this readable container, if I select it here, is now auto because it's the combo class, but the other people here, readable container, is not the combo class, and it's hiding the overflow. So that's probably how we're going to end up doing it. We might change it a little bit, but like this is a unique use case, so definitely should be combo classed out, if you will. Okay. What this is going to end up being is this box is going to be position relative. This thumbnail is going to be, and again, I don't care if the top gets cut off, so position absolute. The top property of this is going to be set to 0, and so is the left. So now it's going to line up with this image. Now, obviously, minus this thing. Again, don't care about the thing. So we're going to go into the box. We're going to click on here. We're going to get rid of this background image. We're also going to, just to clean it up, we're also going to just get rid of this. So now that's cleaned up. We're going to go into our box thumbnail. We're going to grab this. We're going to grab our background image. We're going to grab our thumbnail. Okay. We are then going to go back over here. I know it's covering it up, but we'll fix that in a second. We're going to click into here. We're going to do a cover. We're going to do this. Okay. But we're going to do like, top is like, we'll just do like a little bit to compensate for that top piece. So like, I don't know, maybe like 60. Just leave it at 50. It's fine. Do that. Cover. Okay. So we'll leave it at that. And then we're going to bring this box category. This is, see, one of those unique things where I don't want this to be absolute. So I'll make it relative. So I have a Z index. I'm just going to make it like 100. And now that'll pop up on top. And that'll cut that little bit off, but that's fine because it's just a thumbnail, like I said. And now we're going to be able to expand the amount of items within that div, within this box div, without screwing around too much. So we have our box, we have our thumbnail, and then we're going to end up having our other bit here. So the box is 350. Let's make it bigger. So let's make it, I don't know, 400 maybe. 400 should be big enough. Just leave a little room for text, and we'll adjust it. We'll probably need to be a little bit bigger. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna come in here, and we're gonna add another div. Okay. And this div is also gonna be absolute, and it's gonna be positioned at the bottom and left. Okay. And it's gonna be 100% width. Why does it do that? Okay. And then we're going to give this, I'm wondering here. We're going to have to add some like truncation technology effectively to control the titles. So I'm thinking we might make this a little less like absolute and relying on relatives and stuff like that down the road here. But for now, I think this is how we're going to do it. This is kind of like off the top, like I said. We're going to come back and like refactor this. This is just to get this kind of stuff out quickly. So I want to get this. Okay, so let's see here. We have a text wrapper, and I'm going to add a... I wonder actually, just trying to think. I wonder if we could make it so that this isn't absolute, so that it actually fills. Let's just try something. Does that just look better? I was thinking like I would want it to tuck in a bit, but then now I'm thinking that with the text wrapper, we're gonna have problems where it's not gonna be like dynamic height when like the text wraps and stuff because it's absolute, and then that's gonna be like a real pain. See, like now it's okay, like it's 100% width. And then, okay, so we're going to call this the box text wrapper. Okay. That's our box text wrapper. And inside of there, we, of course, have our... That is wrong. Immediately wrong. We have... Did I just delete it? No, I didn't. Okay. We have a heading. Okay. Probably an H2. And we have a, let's think here. We have an H2, and we're going to add a div for our meta. And inside of that div, I'm just going to do box text meta for now. Okay. And inside of there, we got 2 text blocks. Whoops. There. Make sure they both went into the same spot. Yes, they did. Excellent. Okay, now we need to adjust some of this stuff. Obviously, it's getting cut off as we changed from absolute positioning stuff to just more dynamic. So let's just fix this up a bit. So I don't even know if we need this to be relative. Get this out of here. Where's this box category? We don't need this. Like, we're just gonna clean this up. Just cleaning it up. We need that font. That's fine. The box needs to be 400. Like, even that, I don't even think we need it. Like, see, like, there we go. See, now it's going to be nice and dynamic. So it's going to automatically handle it for us. Yeah, that's going to be way better. That's going to be a way better way to handle it. I thought tucking it in would be a little better right off the hop, but that's definitely not the case. Okay. So, this heading is going to have, and hate the frickin' inherited. Okay. This heading is going to be pulling in its information from the title or the name of the object and of the article, and we have author left, date right. Perfect. So top one will be left one. That is going, not text color. That is going. Wait, damn! I just said it and I forgot. It forgets its zoom position too. It's weird. Okay, author and then the date. Right. Okay, author and then dates. Author, whoop, and then the dates. So let's do the date created. Look at that. Perfect. Go into our box meta. Make it flex. Make it stretch out. Make it line up like that, even though it's kind of redundant at this time. And there you have that. So they should... Whoa. So, okay. We're going to mess around with flex grow because I don't know if I want it to do that. We're just going to see what we want. Sizing. Do not allow growth. Let's see what it does. Now, we're going to have to adjust this because some of the screens are going to be... Oh, it still did it, eh? What is this? Don't shrink or grow, and it just does it anyway, eh? Oh, wait. Selected the wrong thing. Box lists. Oh, wait, or did I? Wait, what is this? Horizontal. What's this? Reverse. Box. Yeah, I'm saying the width. Oh, the width is 33%. Right. And so it's just going to do the percentage naturally. I forgot I did that part. Well, what we can do then is let's add a min width. Let's add like, I don't know. Is 350 too big? Let's make it shrink to a point. See, there we go. Okay, so 350 is actually not big enough, in my opinion. So let's do like a 500. Again, we'll adjust this. That's too big. I don't know. 400? Sure. I just want it to be like on 1080, I'd like it to be 3, you know? And like 1080 and around 1080, a little under. And then... Okay, let's take a look. See what's bumping that. So just doing like a kind of a quick analysis here. So it's bumping, see that's bumping that down. Why is that? Is something wrapping, I would assume? Right, this text is wrapping. And so it's making it taller. I wonder if we can... Just this. I can't do that. I don't know whether... I'm just trying to think, like, do I want to truncate the headings? Like, do I want to truncate the headings, or do I want to wrap them? Or do I want to wrap them to an extent, and then just, like, truncate them with, like, a gradient, where it just sort of, like, fades off if the title is too long, and then obviously that's what's happening for the user? I don't know. Just trying to think. I wonder if... Maybe we can just... Let's change the alignment, maybe? Not so much worried about that wrapping problem for the moment. Because like, I like having like real data eventually in there, and then we can kind of like, you know, see what everything looks like. Maybe don't line it up like this, line it up like this. That'll like sort of fix that like weird bumping issue. So like this, you know, like that will get bigger. I just don't know what I want to do with titles yet. Since I don't know, I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm just not sure what I want from that. Okay. Let's go to the box. And 0.5 is probably too small, eh? Like, probably like 0.7. Nah, that's too big. They're too small. I don't know. Like 2% seems a bit big, eh? No, that seems alright for like that way. Let's see what happens when it wraps, though. That should be alright. Right? Because like most people aren't like, you know. I've always hated this with like, I always like, I don't struggle from like a technical perspective, but I always wonder like what I should do for a given project, whether I should have this heading wrap, because it looks kind of weird, right? Because it's like it's wrapping underneath, and then this is bigger than this. So then you can do things like I've done things where take like a div, and you give it like a gradient to like the background here's white, so you gradient it to white, and then the title just gets naturally, or like oftentimes like the short description will like naturally get cut off, but it's like a natural gray, so it just looks like, oh, if, you know, we're trailing off and trying to like bring the user in to click it, because you don't want to have these tiles to be absolutely massive. Like, but this looks fine. Let's change the titles a bit. So let's 32 is probably too big, eh? Like, I feel like 32 is really big. Like, these are 34, are they? These are 38, but these are like the big featured. These are 38 as well. They're pretty featured, although that's kind of big, right? Like a 50 width tile? Like, I don't know, man. Like a 30 maybe? Even that, like, that's a little bit... 35 is probably nice. Like, that's kind of a nice spot. And realistically, like, 10's a bit too much. Yeah, we're like 5 on there, I'd say. What's this? What's this, like... Oh, I guess it'd be padding, eh? 10. Oh, see, that's the problem. Because it's getting padded in that. So let's just give it a 0, because the padding will handle that. Okay. I know I'm, like, kind of jumping around here, but that's kind of how I do things. I just kind of, like, chip away, chip away, chip away. Why is the readable container not kicking in here? Where is the readable container? Readable container. Max width is 100%. Width is 1500. Like, we just need to put a little bit of padding on the readable containers. On the smaller, like, as we shrink down the sizes. Because as we go here, like, obviously, like, the wrapping kind of handles it. But then things start getting a little bit crowded. Probably put a little bit of padding on there. Probably like 5 or something, just to make it look like we're not supposed to be having things bumping up around the sides. Okay, well, this is 32 now. What did I enable this? Like, this is what, 35? 32, like 30 maybe, I'd say, honestly. And, like, I don't think we need to have, like, a big line height. Like, I think that's just too much, you know? So then let's give it, things. So, like, we're just going to call this a box heading. Maybe like a box title, I should say. And this is going to be a box author. And this is going to be a box date. Perfect. Okay, so we kind of have the homepage generally laid out. Obviously, we have typography to deal with. I'd like this to be, like, these are really small, so I'd like to deal with those. None of the links really work. But we have the homepage pretty well laid out, just as a sort of a rough, like, look. Obviously, this is just a spacer for me to scroll, like I said. But that's it in terms of section layout. So let's maybe, like, mess with this a bit. So, okay. Like, even these are, like, kind of big, right? Like, they're a bit too... I don't know, like... I understand that people like a big heading. Like that's a big heading to me. It's still a big heading, but it's the other ones are just a bit too, like maybe just do a 35 on these. Honestly, like, and then, like, you don't need a 30. You don't need 44. That's ridiculous. See, like, I like having it to be a little bit, like, just a little squished in. Obviously, we want people to be able to read everything. This category text is just probably too small. Honestly, but it's also, like, we haven't really chosen any typography. Like, we just kind of, like, dove right in. So, like, I'm going to mess around with this. So, I don't know what I want. Like, do we want to maybe make this all caps? Like, I don't know. That kind of looks lame. I don't know about the colors either. But, again, the colors are all... I believe I made the colors user settable. Yeah. So, the colors are, like, intentionally... I think they match our current site, which is sort of like a demo site. But then we also... like, our current site also has... like, I think it's these colors or, like, similar to these colors. So my idea UX wise was that somebody would come in and, like, if they want to know see the latest podcast, they could literally just, like, look for the red and click it. But I don't know if people are really going to deal with that myself. But I don't know. I think I might. So when I built this, maybe like over a year ago, when I built the prototypes, and I, like, kind of looked around at different tech blogs, and I think I might need to do the same again just to get sort of more of the nitty gritty as to the font sizes and, you know, how tucked in is this? Like, you know, this is obviously stretched from top to bottom. Like, do we want that? Do we want these to be tucked in with this and it to be centered? Like, actually, well, let's just see how that looks. So we could not stretch it, bring it in. See, like that, obviously, I think that already looks better. And then that'll dynamically grow itself. and then it doesn't need this top padding necessarily, but we'll put some like emergency padding on it, I'd say. Just something like that, where when it like starts to kind of get crowded, it won't look weird. I think we can, this is flex as well, so we can, I think we made this like vertical at one point. And I want to say that like maybe that's not necessary. Like if we get rid of that, okay, and we make it so that they can wrap. So they're not going to wrap there, they're not going to wrap there, but they automatically wrap. See, like stuff like that, just little refactors here and there. Yeah, I don't know. I should mess around with some fonts. These need to be bigger and bolder, for sure. For sure. Okay, let's maybe play with this. So let's maybe go like 24 pixels. A little too big, eh? 20 maybe. Let's maybe mess around with some fonts. Like again, like I haven't really like touched much. Home and all this. Impact. I don't want that. Impact is like really nice for like, you know, punchy headings, but it's not on iPhones, I think. If memory serves, it's not on iPhones, and so like that's really unfortunate. Like Merriweather, like Montserrat, and Oswald, Tahoma, like oh yeah, Times New Roman, Ubuntu, like Ubuntu's kind of okay. Bitter system. Let me do Ubuntu for now. I don't know if I like that. It's weird how fonts can make such a difference, right? Like it's like it just makes or breaks a page, honestly. What are these? Everything just Arial, eh? I guess I just left it, you know. I'm just kind of playing at this point. Feature date, like, I don't know. What do we want? Like, we want sort of like a meta feel. You know, something that's not super, like, bitter, maybe. Like, even that. Like, that's kind of old-fashioned. PT Sans. Like, I think I might need to do a little bit of, like, typography research. Maybe. Okay. I don't know. Let's look something up. Let's look something up. Let's go to Google Fonts. Oh, good, it's Bing. Let's take a look. Okay, sure. Roboto is like always like kind of a go-to. Let's just I don't know. I'll select this. Used to be like a thing in here. It's been a while since I've been here too, right? Roboto regular. I don't know, like I kind of feel like we should be looking at maybe like tech blog typography, something along those lines maybe. Almost go like full comic book style. Bibas New is pretty nice, like for a heading. Want something that's super readable too, right? Like we want people to be able to like, you know, easy on the eyes, easy enough to look at. Like Merriweather Sans is pretty nice. I know that that's installed already. Like if we bring it up to like, let's say like 64 and like test it, like I don't know, we do like community spotlight. What if we do like all caps? Okay, just say that's okay. I don't know. Let's let's actually finish this sort of fade off section. I think let's actually get something productive. I think I'm just gonna have to spend a couple of hours just sort of off stream looking through some fonts and that type of thing, just because I don't know what I want yet. And like, obviously, I mean, you guys can suggest stuff in the chat if you'd like, but I just don't know what I want yet. So okay, so let's see here. So this is gonna squeeze in, and what we want to have is like, even at this breakpoint, which we may have to use a little bit of JS, we want to have it so that it fades out. So if we go into our design, you can see how, you know, at the larger desktop, obviously, and like this is on tablet, it's like really cut off, but like it starts to cut off, and instead of it wrapping, it just cuts off, and then you're able to like use the scroll wheel, or in this case, like it's more thought of like a touchscreen where you're able to scroll through it. Now, like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna like that, but let's see what we can do with it. The one challenge is going to be that the collection list is already pretty well 100% of the width. And so we're going to have this like weird sort of gradient there. Like I said, we may have to use like some JS or something to like sort of control that. We can make it like really small. Like maybe we should do that. Like just try that out. Another thing. So let's see here. This readable container. Yeah, the readable container. So it should not be within this collection. I don't think it should conflict with that. It should be over top of it. So let's add a div. Okay. And this readable container is a special one, right? So we're going to do... Thinking, because we made the readable container be the thing that collapses. Let's do it so that this piece... So we're going to call this the... featured fade. Okay. And we're going to go position, absolute. Okay. We're going to make it, where the hex are? There it is. We're going to make it appear at the top. We're going to fix that in a sec. And go to the right. Okay. Now, obviously, it's in relation to the page at the moment. So we're going to go and select its parent. We're going to go select this parent, and where is that? Right here. And in this particular scrollable case, we're going to make it relative. Hopefully that doesn't break anything else. We're going to make this little scrollable featured fade thing. We're going to make it, the height is going to be 100%, and the width is going to be like 25 pixels. Probably a little bigger, like 30. Just to get enough of a look at how it's going to be. Right? Now, obviously it's not going to be red, but we're going to use red just so I can see it. I do that often. So we're going to do a gradient. Okay. And we're going to go from, well, we're going to change the angle first off. So we're going to 270. And actually, well, let's do it the other way because it's a little easier to understand here. So let's just do 90. No. There. Okay. So it's fading. In this case, it's going from like black to white here. So let's take this color and this color. Do we need a third? No. I was gonna say like maybe a little like of a stricter gradient that we kind of like rip into quickly, but that's just not gonna be what we need. So let's grab this. Let's make it so that it is transparent. Okay. We're going to grab this, and obviously this is not gonna be the way it is, but we're gonna make this red, and we are going to see how this looks. Obviously, red's going to look really horrible. See how it's going to, like, fade that away, though? But see how it's not fading it away enough, and then it starts looking weird? See what I'm saying? I think this might just straight up be a bad idea. Like, I feel like this is, like, a lot of work, you know? Because, like, realistically, this piece is going to have to be bigger. And then these posts are massive. I don't know if this is a good idea. This weird like post thing. We'll see. Okay, let's take this. Let's hat red. I don't know. Let's just make it the white. Okay. Now I'm gonna fade it in. So like this. See how it's like supposed to be faded like that? See, that's fine. But like it should be more, right? Like it should be the width of this should like, I don't know, be 100 pixel. And then you like really know it's fading. But then it looks weird because Although, like, at 1080, like, you're not really, like, if we preview this and we do the whole screen, no, because of our readable container. That's right. So, see, like, I want it to be so that when it hits a certain thing, we may have to add, like, a custom breakpoint here. But, like, this is basically the idea. Now, that looks like it's a bit too not faded to me, so I'm just going to fix that. Click into here and bring this white in. See how you can bring this white in? See how I wanted, like, maybe we should add another color? Like, okay, so here's the solid white. Let's add another color. We're going to make it white again, but we're going to change the opacity to, like, 50% maybe, or even, like, 75. Yeah, maybe 75. And then we'll adjust, like, now that we'll do this, we'll adjust this so it's like this comes in a little bit more, and we just do a little bit of that. See, that looks nice. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we shrink this down to 30 pixels. Now that we have, like, the full sort of spectrum. Yeah, see, that looks like it works. Like, it's doing it's doing what it's supposed to. I just don't, like, as a design decision, I feel as though that's not going to work well. I don't know what I want to do for that. That's a good question. Should I just, like, get rid of that right now? Like, I'm kind of at that stage where I think maybe we should just get rid of it and just control this top part a little bit more, and maybe make it, like, even more modern, and make it so that they're not spaced out as much. And, like, let's just change the design on the fly. Like, this looks okay, but, like, it looks okay in terms of it works, but then we're gonna have to, like, control the scroll bar, and people aren't gonna know what's happening, and it's weird that it's fading at such a large screen size, right? Maybe we should just do, like, a top grid, like, just a really controlled sort of top heavy on pictures grid. Yeah, you know what? Let's maybe tinker with that. So we'll get rid of that fade. I want to make sure that I deleted that properly. That's fine. We don't need the readable container to be relative anymore. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Just clean this stuff up as we go. We don't really need this scrollable either anymore. But let's just see how this is built in, and then we'll slowly refactor as we need. So, okay, here's our featured block. We have a feature category. We have our text wrapper, which is obviously that. We have our meta, which is inside. Okay. We should make these. Okay, let's see what each block is sized at. So let's take the size of the block, featured block, and that is a 350 pixels with a height of 500. I kind of want to say that we should do maybe we should do grid. That would be interesting. Because I'm thinking we take grid. Well, is that too traditional? So my thought was we could do one big square and then have just two of these guys here. And then instead of this being the featured 4, it's just 3. And so it's just the latest 3 featured articles. But I'm trying to think, is that too traditional? Like, is that, you know what I mean? Because, like, a lot of blogs will do that. Oh, what's a popular tech blog? Let's go to The Verge. I don't know. Let's go to The Verge. Let's see what The Verge has got. Okay. The Verge is a real big heading, all that. That's totally fine. See, this is what I mean by, like, a more modern, where there's less of a space. I kind of want to do something like that. I think we should modernize that design like that. On paper and in my own, like, weird gesture-loving brain, I thought it was going to be nice, but I don't think so. Let's see. See, like, these are all different stories. I'm trying to think here. Like, this is one story. This is taking 2 up. This is an ad, I believe. No, actually, it isn't. This is that. yeah, so okay, they have these dividers. Like I don't want to copy the Verge, to be clear, but I'm just trying to see, like, is this too? See, like they have the small and that, like everyone else. Like what's another blog we could do? Engadget maybe. Hey, look at that. Okay. Speaking of BB10, so they're a little bit like different. So like everyone's kind of at the tile stage, right? Everyone's at that tile stage. But I do want to. They have the color, like splash of color. Big heading, like not too big, but big, like not as big as the Verge. The Verge is like big, but like the Verge also is like a kind of a brand in of itself. Like obviously Engadget is too, but the Verge is sort of more Apple-ish, like Apple-esque, I guess. That's kind of the way I feel about it anyway. Let's see here. So this is their heading. Like you can see this is, well, they have the latest section, and they have these sort of little inserts into their thumbnail. And then they got, the smaller tiles and that. They don't have like a small 4. I don't know. Let's go Android Central maybe. See, here's an example of something that I was thinking of. Is these guys actually don't have any space. Like I don't know, I would experiment with that, but they have like a nice big, like sort of more modern heading. And so like when I log in, I mean their nav is actually, I mean this is sort of a nav, and then they have this like sort of sidebar nav here where you can like kind of pull it up. I'm not really a fan of these like big nav things like that. Like that's just not my cup of tea myself. But I do like this heading. But see, they have the big images and they have the smaller ones. So your eye naturally will go, in most cases, to the top left, right? Especially on English written sites, obviously. I know that some languages go right to left, so I assume that those websites would have their big block on the right. But in our case, we're going to be left. I'm just like wondering, like, should we do like some more modern stuff like this? Like, if we go back to our design, like this looks kind of, it's not archaic, like it's fine. Like we have, our own like overlays, and like this is pretty standard. Obviously we got to get the typography and such figured out for that, but it's like, that's pretty standard. This is a little spaced out, a little weird, so we can fix that. Stuff like that. This is all pretty standard. It's just sort of in demo form right now. I'm just wondering, like, should we like really modernize the top and then put the ad underneath? You see, that's interesting. And then we could do like a big grid. We could do like a really big CSS grid of like, I like the idea of having that top left be like a super featured article. Like maybe it's just the latest featured too. Like it could be something as simple as that. It could just be this, test blog post 5 that shows up there without another toggle. But I just like the idea of maybe there even being, the podcast is always in one spot. So like you always have the latest podcast episode, and like you can just write that. That's very interesting. And then you got tons of space for, see, like they're cutting off images and it doesn't matter, purely thumbnail purposes. I think that's where we're gonna go, and I think this is like key too. So when I do websites, obviously we'll have like a general idea, and oftentimes people will select a template that they like, because that does save them cost, obviously, and like I do explain that to customers, and oftentimes that's honestly the case, in which they'll select a template, and then I kind of work from the template, making a lot of modifications. And so I think maybe that's where this workflow came for me, where I lay everything out, and then I come back and I'm like, hey, this looks a little weird. Like us changing, just that, or wherever it was. Did we even change that? Oh, we did, right, because it was, it was top to bottom. That's right, I forgot what the change was. But like even that is just like us messing around. You like the idea of a dynamic hero section that updates based on our current featured content. That's what I was thinking too, Mike. Like, I just think that we went traditional tech blog and it was a year ago, and I understand that like design hasn't like revolutionized since then. But like, what if we even just like took this, like just see if this looks better? Add section, flip this up. Like already, like this is big, so we can shrink that. Like already, that looks more modern. And if we remove the spacing, it looks less like a bunch of content blocks and more like a punchy modern design. And I kind of want to dip this whole website in just permanent dark mode almost in a way. I'm definitely getting rid of this. Like, I'm definitely getting rid of the scrollable. I really don't like it. We did this design a long time ago, but like that's the point of these streams though, is like just having these conversations and me like tinkering and toying is exactly the point of the streams. There's a reason why there's streams and then, I mean, we don't have any yet, but streams and then produced content, where if we do like a produced YouTube video, we would cut out all this stuff and I would just show you the fonts I selected and whatever, for the most part, or like cut out anything that isn't super important. But this is sort of, I think this is important to show people, where this is how people come up with ideas. Yeah, I like the idea of, see, like, even this, like, no longer having that space looks so much better, honestly. Like, having a single, I don't know if I want this, though. Like, a big hero like that. Let's maybe take a look at another site. Let's, it's another tech site out there. Maybe we check out, I know, we'll check out two gaming sites. Let's get something other than tech. So let's get IGN. Take a look at IGN here. IGN, big sort of traditional nav. So okay, so actually IGN is doing what we're doing, or what our current design is, and that's interesting. So they have the 4, quite literally. They have IGN changes all the time, and they have this. People like putting the date. I don't know what that is. Like, we've had a couple like customers ask us to do the date, and I'll do it, like, no problem. But like, to me, it's just, I never really thought anyone, like, I don't check, like, I check the date down here, you know? I don't check, I don't know. Interesting. That must be, I kind of want to read up on that now. But anyway, see, IGN, you know, they're right on par. You know, we have some typography and stuff to deal with to make it look better. I like this. This is cool. Where they have everything within their readable. They have this sort of scrollable ad. That's what I meant by the ad in terms of that ad spot doesn't look great in our grid, but like it doesn't really matter. I really like this idea where they have like a big full screen image that breaks out of that readable container. I like that. Here's their little guys. And here's their trending topics. And just keeps going and going and going. Let's go to, what's another gaming website? GameSpot. GameSpot has the big hero, okay? So they got the big image. They have the, they've got the big image. They've got the, like, you know, grabs your attention right over. Second thing to sort of grab your attention. And then the 4 underneath. I wonder. What's that thing there, Mike? Color lib. What is that there? Is this gonna like send me to a virus like right on the air? Yeah, that's a good idea. Just like looking at templates. Yeah. So yeah, see, this has the foodie blog, big hero. Again, that top left, big heavy hitter. I like the idea of the top left being a heavy hitter, actually. I think like it's starting to grow on me. And I like how this one, so I've seen ones where big like big sort of section here, big like top left, and then one across and 2 here. I like how this breaks it up, so a vertical and then these 3. I'd like to see, can I see this thing live in some way? Yeah, preview. All right, let's see if this breaks everything. Okay, so I'd like to see this in tablet form. Okay, so it just moves it down. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. We could play with I don't know if I like that. What the hell? Does it have it on here too? What is going on? So it doesn't change these two, unless that was intentional. It doesn't change these two. See, their meta is tiny, and I think I should do the same thing. Like, I'm definitely going to shrink my meta down when I choose a typography for it. Okay, I mean, barring that, I don't like that, personally. Unless I'm just not getting it, because if it changed everything, you know what? Like, yeah, like maybe in the settings when you set up this template, if you click through these and it changed all the pictures, that would get a thumbs up on my behalf. I don't know if I would do it personally, because like when you're reading through, you want to see the top 4, you know, sort of main things. You don't want to see top 4 with like 2 of them switching. So then it's like, well, are these the most important? See what the minimal one. See, like this looks. See, that looks nice. Yeah, we need a 100% in our design. We need a heavy hitter. We need some heavy hitting images. These are kind of heavy hitters. We need better photos. Obviously, these are just stock photos that I just threw in. We need more like specific photos. We need like a heavy hitting image presence right when somebody hits the site, I think. The nav bar may, as I said earlier, might get a little bit of a revamp as well. 100%, this needs to be sort of the magnum opus, if you will, of the homepage. Let's take a look at more templates here. I think that's going to be the theme of the next stream. Is it's going to be, I'm going to come on and maybe I'll have done some research prior, or I'll do research live. I'm just not sure on what I'd prefer to do. And let's sort of modernize our design live. Let's do that. See, yeah, like I like the idea of the images just like they're punchy, right? Like even if they're not needed, like, you know, there's a lot of information effectively in these images, but like you're not looking at every single window. It's just like a punchy, like boom, there's some images. And then your eye is drawn to reading this. Now, again, I don't know if I'm a fan of a vertical nav for our purpose. Like maybe that would be a thing that people use. I don't mind the idea of one like sort of flying in from the side. I don't mind that. Images from Unsplash. I like the idea of punchy images. Too much text for me, or for our purpose, but like definitely makes sense for travel. Here's another one. Here's another heavy hitter. Yeah, like I like. Okay, so that's not bad because. Can I see a preview of that, please? Preview. So this is nice because yes, like normally your eyes are drawn to the top left, generally just sort of as a default, but like this is a nice heavy hitter right in the center, like what you're seeing. I kind of would have liked to see maybe this text or what it would look like if it was like on top of the thing, or even like overlaid. Like having a bit of overhang, like it sounds weird, but having a bit of overhang like that is a little bit, kind of has like a premium feel to it. I don't know. Strange. It's strange that it has a premium feel. See, stuff like this, I kind of want to modernize our categories. Like I just like kind of threw them in, but like maybe our categories could be smaller and just like a little like tidbit on the side. That would be nice. And maybe all one color too, but they're color settable. Like I said, did that intentionally, so it's fine. What happened there? Oh, this is like a filter. I see. Yeah, so we're definitely not a food blog, but that's interesting. It's like another way to drag the eye in, right? Let's go back. Let's take a look at a couple more. So here's a photo site. There's a mini blog. There's a tiled one. See, these are interesting because it's sort of like these in various configurations are interesting because it's sort of like kind of most important or like latest, whatever, but like most important, second most important, third most, fourth most, and these are these are on the same like tier of importance almost because they're the same size And so like sizing makes a lot of difference here. Okay, let's take a look. That's interesting. A little bit too much white space for me. That's interesting if we were all video, for sure. See, this is that other design I was talking about. I see this one quite a bit, where it's big on the top left, and then one like a double wide across, and then two of the smalls. I really like that idea. I think it's overused, so I don't really want to do that specifically. I like the idea of that food blog one. I like the idea of the food blog one, but like we'll change it like dramatically, where nice big heavy hitter in the center. We can play with grid. Nice big heavy hitter in the center. And then we'll make it so that maybe like the mobile, like, well, let's actually take a look at how this handles mobile. Is there no... Sometimes they have like a control in here. Can I just like pop this out? No. There we go. Okay, let's see. Whoop. And then, Jesus, got a big enough ad there? Okay. Yeah, okay. So they maintain that this is the top. And then they just, file these other ones in place. And that's fine for a thinner screen, of course, right? That's totally fine. Stuff that's more... It's weird because on, like, a larger screen... It's not weird, it's, like, kind of standard, but it's weird to think about, I guess, is, like, on a bigger screen, things are smaller sometimes. Oftentimes, that's because you're using a mouse. It's more precise. But on, like... on a smaller screen, things sometimes actually get bigger than they were on the desktop sometimes, because they would be, like, I don't know, 250 pix width normally, and then all of a sudden they become 100% of the width, and if your phone's big, it gets bigger, but it's like a punchier feel because you're looking at it on a mobile device and you're interacting, and it's a little bit of a closer interaction, more intimate interaction, because you're like literally touching the screen. Yeah, this is interesting. Like, I think we may go through this and sort of grab a bunch of different design ideas. And, like, we're going to change them drastically. Like, obviously, we're not a food blog. We're not going to be taking all this person's, like, ideas. I really like this one's overlays. And I really like how this is laid out like this. But we'd change it quite a bit, right? Like, I do agree with a shorter, like, date, but I don't think the date is that important, so I don't think we would make it that big. I don't like this slider idea. Yeah, see, that's weird. See, look, like, this whole thing slides. These two change automatically, but when you click on the things, you'd think the whole thing slides and only these do. Now, again, it might be because these two are the same, and it's just like, it's demo content, obviously, so, like, I might be reading into it too much, but that's just, I don't know, that's strange. But, like, I really like this layout. I just think the date means less and the categories mean a little more. And I think that the title on top of maybe makes a little more sense in this layout for me personally. We're not going to have comments on ours. We have comments on our existing site. We have like a comment. So, it's just not worth it. Obviously. And also we're on socials. So, like, how many comment sections do you need per thing? I think maybe our site needs a little bit of these as well. Like the short. See how it's truncated? Maybe we need a little bit of like the short bit of information. So like, I know that like more modern blogs don't necessarily do that, but like just a quick one-liner or something in there to like kind of fill it in. Here especially, like there's tons of room here. So we could play with that, and you could have like maybe a 3-liner or something. These are the type of things that we're going to be picking away at on the homepage, sort of hone in the homepage. I might get bored and do another page though, but like more or less, off the top of my head now, plan is to hone in the homepage. We're going to modernize that header, 100%. We're going to modernize this header. This featured content needs to be fixed, 100%. I think this, barring the typography and such, I think this is totally fine. Might need a splash of color. We might add a little splash of color in there, but I think those are fine. I think these are totally fine. We might change their colors a bit. The site's going to change like a little bit with either an optional or a non-optional dark mode. I don't know whether it's just, I'm just gonna like kind of like make the site dark mode and like not let you change it. I'm not sure, but 100% next week, or whenever I stream again. I don't even know what day this is. I just realized. Is it? I don't know what day it is. I guess I could look at my date. Hey. Oh, it's Wednesday. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there. We finished laying out the homepage. We've taken a very brief look at typography. We've decided to scrap this idea, and we're gonna have a heavy hitting top. I think that's a good amount of progress for today. We've figured out a little bit a grid. I definitely couldn't write it out in CSS myself, but it's interesting to see it in Webflow, and it looks like I think I might use it for the top. So, I mean, I'm starting to like it a little bit, which is nice. So I might start touching base on that. We built another collection. We listed all the items in there, and we're basically just going to start coming in, tweaking, fixing it up. And once we start tweaking and fixing that type of stuff up, a lot of these pages are relatively easy to put together, and I'm sure we'll go through a fair bit of changes or iterations or whatever you want to call them while the actual site is live. So we're not going to like sort of drag this out too long, hopefully, because I do want to get this site actually live, because I want to start putting the actual show notes on here. Maybe we'll prioritize show notes because there is some technical stuff to put on there, a media player and stuff like that, which I've never done before. So we're going to see if we can figure it out live on here. But our latest podcast episode came out today. So you can go and check that out if you'd like. It's vanilla versus Webflow. We have a big conversation on Webflow in relation to vanilla, HTML, CSS, and JS. And I'm going to go take off. Thank you for hanging out, Cybersect and Mike as well. And to our new follower as well, XI Demo. Welcome to the club. I guess we should call our like followers something. You know how like some people have like specific names for their followers, like I think PewDiePie has one or something. Maybe we shouldn't do that. We're not gamers, but whatever. So, okay. I will see you all in the next stream or the next podcast you listen to. Thank you for tuning in. See y'all later.